Welcome to Wealth Empowers with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence. I'm Kevin Lawrence in studio with my dad, Dr. Gary Lawrence. We are a father-son team dedicated to helping you create your new financial future today. Dr. G and I believe there is a solution to your financial situation. And on this show, we talk about creating wealth with powerful principles and practical application in today's world. And you can find the show on iTunes or follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also go direct to our website, wealthempowers.com. As you listen today, we hope you'll be entertained, educated, and encouraged. So glad to have you with us today. So have you ever looked at building a new business or building a new financial path? You know, building something new can be very exciting. However, often the idea of building something new usually comes from a set of circumstances that caused or maybe threatened to cause a loss in a different financial area. So in other words, the end of one thing creates the environment to give birth to something new. Now, Dad, you and I have had the opportunity to give birth to a new financial path in our lives, and we are here each week to show our listeners how they can do the same.
And you know, the truth is, Kevin, that there's two motivations that help people start making change in their life. Mm-hmm. The first one is desperation. The second one's inspiration. Okay.
And far too often people take the first road, the
right.
desperation.
Yeah, exactly. And to help you and I convey to our audience the message of how I'm going to say simple and realistic it is, that they can create a new financial platform that they control. We have a special guest come to us all the way from Murrieta, California, and he's one of our most highly respected, most sought-after instructors at Renatus. And what is Renatus? Well, Renatus is the premier real estate investing education service in America. And Darren Davis, well, he's a young man. He's in his early 40s, and he's on a journey that has changed his life drastically, he and his wife, Claire. But he's also changed the lives of other men and women. He's been one of my favorite instructors. I'm just going to bring him on. Darren Davis, what a joy to have you on the air with us today.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin and Gary. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Darren, did you hear? He said you're in your early 40s. What a compliment, right?
I know. I'm like, wow, who knew? 47 is the new early 40s.
47 is early 40s.
Well,
see?
Give or take 5 years. Who's counting, right? But
right.
Darren, in the last 7 years, you and Claire have certainly been on a journey that has led to a massive change in your life, but also the change of thousands of people across America. Would you take us back to where you and Claire were at that time?
Oh, my goodness. 10 years ago, here I am in my later 30s, and I had to start over. It was 2008. I was let go from the career that I had, dedicated the last 15 years of my life to, and it gained a bunch of specialized knowledge in. And now it no longer was viable. It was tied to new home construction. I was a paint pump mechanic. I know that doesn't mean a lot to most people, but it paid the bills.
Well, actually, the truth is it more than paid your bills because you were making over $100,000 a year, right?
I was, and in California, that's kind of average. I mean, if you want to get by, you've got to make that, it seems. But it did. It paid well, and Claire stayed at home with the kids. I've got 5 kids, and she. We were doing what we wanted to do. We were doing what we expected life to, I guess, hand us. We were performing that.
Right.
And then it all changed. It went, it was put on its head, and we got sucked up in the middle of all of that.
Yeah, and you were one of the victims of the crash. I mean, in 2008, the world blew up in real estate, and no more new homes are being built, so they're not painting them. If they're not painting them, we don't have, paint pumps breaking, so we don't need a mechanic to fix anything. So here you are without a job, a wife, and did you have 3 or 4 at that time?
I had 4 children
at
that
time. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what was your, you were forced now to create a new financial path and build something new. What direction did you take, Darren?
Well, from the day I got a job, I had always been looking for a better path to retirement, meaning to get out of a job.
Right.
Getting a job was not my life stream. and so I had read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and it's a good book. It teaches some principles, but what it didn't do is it didn't teach me how to do real estate investing. It just got me excited that I should do real estate investing.
Right.
And so I wanted that to be my new career, but I just didn't have any support. I didn't know how I was going to make that work, and it just didn't. It was way too scary. Way too scary to do something like that.
Sure, yeah.
And there's a lot of people listening right now, Darren, that they would like to do the same thing. Maybe they haven't been laid off. They do have a job, and maybe they're earning good income and supporting their family. But that desire, that dream, how do I step into that real estate investing market? How do I make this happen? They have a lot of fear and trepidation. So how did you get over that?
Well, frankly, it was because I got connected with a team of investors. I had to increase my knowledge because as knowledge increases, the fear decreases.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Renatus was the path, Renatus helped me get onto the path that allowed me to have success in real estate investing.
Well, if I remember right, when you and I were together a couple of weeks ago, you told me that you and Claire were down at the very bottom of the last of your credit card balances. You were literally living on credit at that time. Am I right?
You're right. Because like any career that's going to pay you a significant income,
right,
you're going to have to take some time to learn how to do it correctly. You don't want to go get brain surgery from the brain surgeon that went to a 3-day boot camp and now knows everything he needs to know about brain surgery.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dangerous, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way. So it took some time, and I did. I had some savings, and that went away, and then I was living on credit, and I was so close. You could just taste it, that I was so close to having what it took and what I needed to perform my first real estate transaction.
And so roughly from when you were laid off to getting that first transaction, done and creating a profit on that, what was the time frame?
Well, Kevin, it was right about 1 year. Now, I don't want everyone out there going, "Oh my gosh, that's way too long."
Yeah.
That was just my experience.
Well, it is, and the reason I asked you that, I wanted you to say, "Well, it was probably a good year," because so often what happens, you mentioned the boot camps, right? It's advertised out there, hey, flip your way to millions, and fire your boss and buy an island and do all this stuff in 90 days, And Dr. G and I are here just trying to reach out to people to say, look, real estate investing is viable, and you can learn to be a full-time real estate investor. But what it's not is get rich quick. I mean, you're not going to go out in 90 days and earn $1 million. Let's get some reality to it. And so, Darren, your story of, hey, by the time I recovered emotionally, because that was an emotional loss as well as a financial loss, by the time I got connected with Renatus, got into my education, learned what I did, get the right property under contract, turn that profit. It took you a year, right? That's realistic. There's nothing wrong with that, because here you are 10 years later and you're so far ahead.
And before we go to our audience, I want our audience to hear the rest of the story. It took him a year to do his first deal, but over the last, 8 years, Darren, how many deals have you done now?
Oh, well, I don't have an exact number, but it's over 200, about 215, 220, right around there.
And then how much profit have you literally created for yourself and your investors?
Net profit is over $3 million. It's probably around 3.3.
Yeah. And you're not exaggerating.
No. I can show you in my spreadsheet.
See, that's what I love about Renatus. Okay, there's no exaggeration of the numbers. There's no hype. I heard an ad on radio just a couple weeks ago about some real estate guru coming to the Valley, literally advertising, if you follow our plan, you can make $90,000 in the next 90 days.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, you're just so tired of hearing that kind of advertising. Darren Davis is our special guest, and you're listening to Wealth Empowers with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence, a father and son team dedicated to helping you change your financial platform. And hey, we're having an exciting event this week right here in the Valley. It's our Investor Business Forum. And what is that business forum? Well, it's an hour-and-a-half event that's going to introduce you to the Renatus Real Estate Investing Education System. It's going to help you understand real estate investing as it truly is today, not where it was 7, 8, 9 years ago. You're going to meet a lot of wonderful people, men and women just like yourself, that said, you know what? I've got to change my plans. I've got to do something different if I'm ever going to be able to enjoy those golden years. Now, you may be in your 30s or 40s. You're not thinking about retiring yet. But let me ask you this. Are you thinking about keep working the same job for the next 10 to 20 years? Where's that going to get you? I'll guarantee you, you're not being any closer to retirement 20 years from now than you are now. Guarantee it. Listen, if you'd like to be my personal guest, there's no cost. And you cannot bring your checkbook or your credit cards. You're not going to buy anything. This is just doing our first step in our due diligence. Let Kevin and I meet you. You need to come and meet us, meet our team. If you'd like to be my guest, write down my phone number. And I want you to know when you do call, you're going to get a voice message. So for your sake, leave a message with your name and phone number, and that way I can return the call. Okay, here's our phone number. Write it down. It's 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645. Or visit our website, Wealth Empowers. That's Wealth, W-E-A-L-T-H, Empowers, E-M-P-O-W-E-R-S, wealthempowers.com. And Kevin, I think you've been with our team now for almost 4 years, right?
No, just coming up on 3.
Just coming up on 3.
How
many real estate deals have you done now?
Lori and I have done 2. We're in our 3rd real estate transaction. I consulted on several transactions over the last few years with people. I will say this, and Darren, you can attest to this. I've said no to more properties than I said yes to. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Darren?
You're doing the right thing, I believe. No, and that's really what it is, and that's something that I'm so passionate about, Kevin, Gary. Is knowing before you get into a transaction, before you get into a real estate deal, that you actually know that it is a deal.
Right.
That is a skill set I believe all of us who want to be real estate investors can really become masters at.
Well, when I started my journey with Renatus, Darren, as you well know, I was coming out of bankruptcy and foreclosure back in 2009, 2010. Yeah. And that's when I started my education journey with Renatus. And one of the first lessons I learned was from Chris Albin, who taught creative acquisitions. And I'll tell you, boy, that blew my mind. That was the day that I was totally encouraged to know that I could do this. Creative acquisitions, learning how to take ownership and control of real estate with none of your own money, none of your own credit. But anyway, the one thing he said that really positioned me to have and to keep a clear mind on real estate investing, here's what he said. Some of the best deals you ever do are the ones you walk away from. Am I right or right, Darren?
Oh, it makes me laugh a little inside because, yes, that is so true. The ones that you should not do will cost you so much money, and not just money, but emotional energy,
right,
and time. It's just so difficult to get through those ones, and so you really do want to be sure that what you're getting into is going to be profitable and that it's going to be within the appropriate time frame.
Well, now, Darren, where was Claire at the time emotionally? You guys were going through a dark time. And of course, that was 8-9 years ago. You've had so much success. Where was she emotionally with this whole thing?
As with most married couples, one of you is going to be at one end of the spectrum and the other at the other. And I was really in a place where I was scared, and it was difficult, and I was emotionally somewhat unavailable at times. And Claire, even as a stay-at-home mom, the day I got fired, or let go finally, she just had the biggest smile on her face.
Wow.
Because she knew that what I was doing for somebody else, I could be doing for myself, and I wouldn't be treated like the way I was
right
when I had a job.
Well, and that's a key point right there, Darren. So many people are giving their time and energy. And it's not bad. So I want our listeners to make sure that I'm a guy that says, hey, go get a job and work. It's good for people to work, okay? But a job, in my mind, is not forever. It's just for now. It gets you to the next place. But when you start thinking about the time and energy you spend driving to traffic, going to the office, doing what you do, and what you're doing is putting your time and energy into building someone else's dream, someone else's hope, you could be putting that into your own business system and building your dream, building your hope, right?
Darren, Renatus, I tell folks all the time, it's the premier real estate investing education service in America. How many instructors do we have now? I think it's 29. Is that correct?
You know, we keep bringing more and more on, and so it could be that is the number.
Right. Yeah, I think we've got 29 practitioner real estate investors that are our instructors, and we've got over 60 classes. We're in over 36 cities nationwide. Renatus is making a tremendous impact on America nationwide, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I mean, we have students in all 50 states. It's phenomenal to think about that one company can impact the lives significantly of that many individuals. And then not just individuals, but to create a national team that will support and collaborate. We're not building competitors.
Well, yeah, exactly. We say it like this all the time. When it comes to Renatus, there's no competition. It's all cooperation.
Yeah, well, there's enough real estate to go around. We're not going to run out of real estate deals, and there's enough to go around in different parts of the country. And Darren, your story is so powerful because you went from, hey, I lost my six-figure income to a professional real estate investor, a proficient real estate investor as well. And then Renatus asked you and your partner to come teach classes. And now over the last several years, you've become that national instructor. What a turnaround for you and Claire and the kids for the last 10 years. You've been on quite a journey, haven't you?
I was going to say, how'd you handle that?
Well, when I was asked to be an instructor, it was like, well, thanks, but no thanks. We're not teachers of the word. We're doers of the word. And so often teachers know how everything works in theory, but we were actually going out and doing it. And that's a great thing about the Renatus Investment Education Service is that you're being taught by people who are doing it today.
Right. Not
who did it 20 years ago or 10 years ago, but doing it today. And that's me. I just closed on a property on this last Wednesday. That was in Lake Elsinore, and made over a $20,000 profit on it. And that's not a bad profit. No. I was expecting, or I was hoping for 30, but we had a problem with some vermin. So you got to take care of it and take care of it right. So that's the way that goes. But that is who I am and what I do. I fix and flip properties, and I teach people how to make sure they go in and that they're going to get into a good deal versus one that's going to create a bunch of heartache and pain.
Yeah. I think it's so exciting that Claire. She was in your corner, man. She was rooting for you. She knew you could do this. But I got to tell you this. I just found out about a year and a half ago that my wife, Sylvia, was praying, dear God, don't let Gary get involved in real estate. Well, back then we had lost our house, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'll tell you, it's the greatest thing I've ever done. And I'll tell you, Darren, it's a joy to have one of our instructors on the air. But, Darren, you were here just with us just last week for a special real estate intensive. I'm going to come back in a minute. I'm going to ask you to take a minute and share with our audience why they should attend our Investor Business Forum here in the Valley, okay?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Wealth Empowers with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence, and we are a father and son team dedicated to helping you create a financial platform that you control. And we're hosting another Investor Business Forum this week right in the Valley, and I'm extending to you my personal invitation to be our guest. You don't have to bring any money. You're not going to buy anything. I tell everybody, leave your checkbook and credit cards at home. But you're going to have to call me to make it happen. I'm going to give you my phone number in a minute, but I want you to know when you call, you will get a voice message. So for your sake, leave a message with your name and phone number so I can get back to you. Are you ready to write down my phone number? Here it is. It's 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645. Or, hey, visit us at our website, Wealth Empowers. That's wealth, W-E-A-L-T-H, empowers, E-M-P-O-W-E-R-S, wealthempowers.com. Darren Davis from Murrieta, California, one of our instructors at Renatus, has been our guest this morning. Darren, would you, from your heart, speak to the heart of our audience? Tell them why they should call me and be my guest in our business forum.
If you've always thought you could do more or wanted more out of out of life, out of the current situation you're in, then you deserve to call Gary and Kevin. Seriously, it's changed my life, and we've talked about that. But I was just on the phone this morning with a young lady of 26 years old. Her name's Crystal. She joined our team about 2 years ago and has created the possibility of, well, first, she was able to get out of her retail job, and now she's going to have her new house that she just purchased 3 years ago paid off in the next 2.5 years.
Now, wait a minute.
Because of...
So she's paying off a 30-year mortgage in 5.5 years?
That is correct.
Wow.
And she didn't go out and get another job to do that or to make that happen. She's not rich. She's 26. Her husband is also 26. They're newlyweds, and they've got a brand-new house. They got a brand-new house 3 years ago. They're going to have it paid off in 5.5 years without going out and getting a second job or anything of that nature. She's just learning how to pay off her debt differently. And those are principles that Renatus teaches. If you have debt, I don't care if it's student debt, if it's credit card debt, if it's your house, your car, your truck, your business, you want to get that debt wiped clean so that you could have more income into your household, Renatus will teach you how to do that. Call Gary and Kevin. You're not going to meet two individuals who are more genuine, and they're going to assist you in helping you to make those dreams become reality that you have.
And just for the record, I did not pay Darren Davis $1 for anything.
I was wondering
if
you're going to say that.
That was not a paid commercial.
Nope.
Well, Darren, I'll tell you, you've been a blessing to our people. They just thoroughly enjoyed the experience they had when you were out here last week for our real estate intensive. And I just want to say thank you so much for your valuable time. And you made an impact on my life, Kevin. I remember we did a deal about 1.5 years ago. We actually spent about 2 hours on the phone with Darren.
Yeah.
He's in Murrieta and California. He's going over that deal with us over the phone.
Yeah, it was great. And Darren's talked with me on other deals since then. It's good to have the community and support.
Right, absolutely. Darren, give Claire a hug, okay, and hug those kids for us. Will you do that?
Absolutely will. Thank you so much, guys.
Appreciate you so much, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I do encourage you, give me a call. All we're going to do is visit for a few minutes. Once again, our number is 602-730-5645. Change when left to chance is just going to create more conflict. But if you don't change, things are never going to change. And I'll guarantee you this, the only thing that won't change is the fact that things will change. I encourage you, stop being a circumstantial creator and become an intentional creator. If you want something to change, you've got to change your attitude towards it. Success has never been a destination. It's nothing more than a journey. You can succeed. Now listen carefully. Success has never been final, but failure's never been fatal. An investment in knowledge will pay you the best return on your investment. You are full of the power of success. Have a great day.
It's been said, the best way to predict your future is to create it. No matter your circumstances, there is a solution to your situation. Dr. G and Kevin invite you to explore the possibilities of creating a new financial platform that you control and no longer allow yourself to be controlled by the circumstances of your life. Visit them at wealthempowers.com. That's WEALTHEMPOWERS.com. Come and meet Dr. G and Kevin at the Investor Business Forum. Oh, one last thought. Isn't it time for you to stop making a living and start making a life? Call Dr. G and Kevin at 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645.